Hi, I'm Sam, Flying Kite. This is the Horror Show! And, it's week 21, and I'm doing Army of Darkness. See, I would just do that, but you can't really see it, so you do it like this, and you can kind of see it. Came out in 1992. It's about an hour and 20 minutes long. It is rated R, which is kind of funny, but I get it. Sam Raimi directs it. Bruce Campbell comes back to play Ash. Mbeth Davids plays Sheila. Marcus Gilbert plays Arthur. Ian Abercrombie plays the Wise Man. And Richard Grove plays Duke Henry. Although Duke Henry's only in it for a little bit. Although, I guess to be honest, like, all of them except for Ash are only kind of, like, in it for a little bit. I love this movie. This is comfort food at its best, I think, anyway. And I really like how it starts off kind of with like a previously on Evil Dead kind of thing. It gives you like, you know, kind of sets up what the Necronomicon is, and then what happened to Ash in the first two movies, basically. And then why he's where he's at now. But let me tell you what the movie's about, though, real quick. When Ash Williams is transported to 1300 AD, he must retrieve the Necronomicon and battle an army of the dead in order to return home. Really blunt way of putting it, yeah. And I love this movie so much. There's so much about this movie that I just love. I love every single scene there is in this movie. Well, this was the very first Evil Dead movie I saw, even though it's not really Evil Dead. Now, it really should have been called Medieval Dead, but I guess they thought it wasn't going to sell that well, so Army of Darkness it was. But, you know, still, right? Just gives me room to go and call one of my ideas Medieval Dead, then. But anyway. Story is a 5 out of 5 for me. Very simple. Yeah, as I kind of just said. Ash has to find the book, and he ends up having to fight an army. It's not necessarily just him fighting it, but he's a very interesting character in this movie. Although, I guess, you know, I might actually go on a little in-depth about that character. This might be a 15-minute video, but we'll see. The characters are a 5 out of 5 for me. Ash is just goated, obviously. And then the rest of the characters are pretty good and pretty fitting for, like, who they are. Setting is a 5 out of 5 for me. It's medieval times, so there's castles and there's windmills, but, you know, it's a whole castle and it's a whole, like, medieval characters and whatnot. It's just, I love those kind of things. The music is a 5 out of 5 for me. The music is just goated, and, I could literally say anything about this movie is goated. But, like, the music is really good, and I really like the music that's played during, the prologue. You know, the very beginning of the movie. And then the effects are 5 out of 5 for me. I'm like draining a little bit right now because it's like, you know, I'm not really so like, I'm more like, but wow, anyway. The effects are a 5 out of 5 for me. The effects are really good in this, and it's like, it's similar, but it's very different from like Evil Dead 2 and those effects, because it's like weird stuff still happens and whatnot, but storyline wise weird stuff happens. Like in Evil Dead 2, there's blood that's shooting out of the wall. In Army of Darkness, there's an eye coming out of someone's shoulder. I'm not going to tell you, you know, who and what and why, but, you know, stuff happens. And then, like, that eye becomes a head, and then that head becomes its own person. Whew. Scary, creepy stuff, man. Oh, real shocker here. I think the movie's a 5 out of 5. It's just everything about this movie is just great and perfect to me, and the only reason why I would ever think this movie's not is if it's been a long time, and maybe for some reason I forget about this movie, and then I go and watch it somehow, and I'm like not in the mood to watch it, and then like I'm just hating on the movie the whole time. That's literally the only reason why I would go and just hate this movie. I mean, I have I have a poster of it right there, dude. I have a poster of it right there. See? I don't think I'll ever hate this movie. This movie's just it. This is my movie, dude. Comfort food at its best. Oh. No, now we're messing up the camera. But one thing I really liked about this movie is that they kind of more go on, like, who is Ash? What kind of person is Ash? You kind of don't really get that in Evil Dead 2. If his character does change, it kind of does change pretty big. Wow. I wonder why he gets sent back in time. That happens to everyone every now and again. No, but like in Evil Dead 2, he's more of like the hero guy who's not gonna like run away in fear unless it's just him running away in fear kind of thing. But in Army of Darkness, his character kind of changes in the whole sense of, alright, I'm gonna go find the book, I'm gonna bring the book back, and regardless of what happens, you're gonna send me home. And he gets the book, but he's supposed to say 3 words, and he technically doesn't say the 3 words. And that awakens the dead. And so when he gets back, and the wise man's like, you say the 3 words? And he's like, I may not have, said it exactly verbatim, but I said them. And it's like, he was only caring about himself, which, kind of makes sense in a sense. But, like, the love interest ends up getting kidnapped. And not like he was going to go and, like, bring her with him, but, like, that made him change his kind of tune about, you know what, I have to stay and help these people. And then he kind of becomes the character that you know him in Evil Dead 2, where he's the hero and he's not gonna like run away in fear, or run away from the problem at hand. So I do really like that about his character in this. And like I never, like this, as I said, this was the first Evil Dead movie I saw, so I had no clue who his character was in Evil Dead 2. And I really liked it. I really like this. And I said this was going to be a 15-minute video. I thought I was going to I thought I was going to drag this out a bit, and I didn't. I kind of said what I wanted to say. So I guess let's think of a couple other things to talk about that I know no one is ever going to listen to, because who is going to still be here watching this video at 8 minutes? It'd be cool. I would really like it. But, being completely real and honest, who's still here? I mean, I'd love it, as I said, but I carry on. There's like a version of this movie, it's like the Screwhead edition, in which basically makes the brightness go up a little bit, and you see all the like problems. You see like, okay. You see things you're not really supposed to see, and it's like that's like one of the only ways I think you could go and hate this movie is if your first ever time watching it would be like watching the Screwhead edition. It's like I don't even know why they made that a thing. They made it all brighter and look more fake. But when it's more darker and whatnot, then it's like it looks more real because, you only need so much. And then all you need then is to have a lack of darkness, and then it looks more creepy or more real. But then you turn on the light, and it's like, oh, look, it's just a guy. It's not a skeleton. Oh, okay, there is something I could talk about. Wow, it's just left my mind. There's 2 endings in this movie. There's the theatrical cut, and then there's the Sam Raimi cut. It's not really called the Sam Raimi cut, but basically, Sam Raimi wanted a specific ending, and the studio was like, that's really dark. You have a happy ending, and then we'll be cool. And he was like, fine. So, happy ending, he makes it home, and the Deadites are there too, but he, he's a bad butt, and he kills the Deadite, and then he's like, I'm the king, baby. Right? But the sad ending, whatever, it technically is sad. It's after Ash wins in the medieval time, and he gets sent back home. He's supposed to drink like 7 drops of this liquid, but as he's taking the drops, he hears something, and he stops, and you see a drop fall. It's like he's holding it, hears the drop. Oh no, he hears something, but then the drop happens, and he's like, takes the like last 1 or 2 drops. It ends up oversleeping because it was an extra drop. So he was a bit clumsy right there. See, I like both endings. Well, let me kind of finish what happens. He sleeps, but when he wakes up, he overslept, and the world's, like, fallen, and, like, it's, like, apocalyptic. And he's like, I slept too long! Kind of thing. I like both endings. Because, well, why do I like both endings? I like the theatrical ending because it more, like, gives me the impression of what kind of guy Ash is, and he's, like, this bad butt hero kind of guy. Who's not gonna run away in fear if, like, a Deadite's there, and is gonna go save the day. And that was his character in Evil Dead 2, for the most part. And that's what he became in Army of Darkness. And so, I like that because of that. But then if I only watched Army of Darkness and I had no previous knowledge of Evil Dead 1 or 2, and all I knew was Army of Darkness, it would also be fitting because his character in it is like, he's kind of clumsy a bit. And so that ending's just perfect because, oh, look, he's still really clumsy and he's about to F it up. But I guess which ending do I like better? I think I like the theatrical ending better because it's like you go through all of that stuff and you know, you save the day and then that happens. Like, that's awful. That's terrible, dude. I mean, I get it, but, like, I don't know. I just don't like it that much. But I love the theatrical ending. So, I'm Sam, Flying Kite. This is week 21 of the horror show, and next week we'll be doing Evil Dead, the remake, that came out in 2013, and then the week after we'll be doing Evil Dead Rise. I'll see y'all next week. Goodbye.